some breaking news. Into the newsroom, Rich. And, we are getting, updates, and rapidly, and we are hearing this from Cami, Mondo. She's saying that Trump has announced Elon Musk and the Vivek Ramaswamy code lead the Department of Government Efficiency, you see? That spells out Doge, Rich, and there we go, we have a statement. In from the Trump staff and I'll read this out. Trump says, I'm pleased to announce that the great Elon Musk, working in conjunction with American patriot Vivek Ramaswamy, will lead the Department of Government Efficiency. Doge. Together, these two wonderful Americans will pave the way for my administration to dismantle government bureaucracy, /excess regulations, cut wasteful expenditures, and restructure federal agencies, essential to the Save America movement. This will send shock waves through the system and anyone involved in government waste, which is a lot of people. Stated, Mr. Musk, it will become potentially the Manhattan Project of our time. Republican politicians have dreamed about the objectives of Doge for a very long time. To drive this kind of drastic change, the Department of Government Efficiency will provide advice and guidance from outside of government, and will partner with the White House and Office of Management and Budget to drive large-scale structural reform and create an entrepreneurial approach to government never seen before. The third paragraph. I look forward to Elon and the Vic making changes to the federal bureaucracy with an eye on efficiency and at the time, making life better for all Americans. Importantly, we will drive out the massive waste and fraud which exists throughout our annual $6.5 trillion of government spending. They will work together to liberate our economy and make the U.S. government accountable to we the people. Their work will conclude no later than July 4, 2026. A smaller government with more efficiency and less bureaucracy will be the perfect gift to America on the 255th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. I am confident they will succeed. All right. Rich, this is breaking. Doge. The Vic saying we will not go gently. What do you make of the Department of Government Efficiency? Rich?
Well, a couple of things. First of all, Elon Musk. I think it was intimated by Donald Trump during the campaign that Elon Musk, if he were elected, would, or Donald Trump was elected, that is would, take this some sort of a position involving government waste. I'm a little bit surprised about Vivek Ramaswamy because, thinking about his political future, someone who had very little name recognition outside, the Byzantine business world, now, because he ran for president, because during his presidential campaign, he often defended Donald Trump, when Donald Trump would not participate in the debate. He is now somebody that I think is, and I think it was certainly on probably on Donald Trump's long list of potential vice presidential candidates. But a little surprised by this, because I saw other openings for Vivek Ramaswamy. One of them would have been if the current governor Mike DeWine were to appoint him to succeed J.D. Vance, the United States Senate. There's a lot of pressure on Mike DeWine to appoint somebody who's more of a mugger. Republican Mike DeWine is more of an establishment Republican, not an insurrectionist like Donald Trump. So that means that it's the chances, or means you'll probably, that he has a better chance of nominating somebody who's more moderate than Vivek Ramaswamy. Vec Swamy is somebody who I also thought, potentially with you'd get to have a job in the Trump administration. It may be something more foreign policy in that he shares the non-interventionist foreign policy of Donald Trump. Now, theoretically, he could stay there for a very short period of time. And maybe a year or so. And then get his kind of bona fide is having worked in the presidential administration. Then in 2026 run for governor of Ohio, which I think is probably his might be kind of his master plan to get to the presidency anyway, but I'm very interested in terms of why he accepted this and what he kind of sees as the kind of grand strategy here.
As Meredith McGrath says there, this is aimed at slashing excess regulations, cutting wasteful expenditures, and restructuring federal agencies. Rich to our understanding. Has there been an appetite among the electorate for more efficient government? Has that been a staple of this campaign cycle?
Yes, but it's in many respects, it's like man's law's hierarchy of needs when you ask people what? When you went to ask people a question like that. Also, everyone's going to say yes, there's government inefficiency, there's government ways. We need to get rid of the waste. The waste and abuse, certainly, but when you really come down to it, is that voting issue with people? No, it's voting issues with people are more or less economic issues in some cases, social issues, but this is really something that I think is really down the list of priorities.
So, we are getting more information. In of the vague saying there. Shut it down. So we're hearing of Trump billing out some more of these high-profile positions. We're also hearing of Trump creating new positions to our understanding rich. This Doge idea, this is a completely new entity within the government, correct?
That's to my understanding, absolutely.
So, and let's get some more here from yes. So Meredith McGrath, we've already seen this one up on screen, but I got to ask you a little bit more about Elon Musk, now that we're seeing that he's officially going to have some sort of role here within the Department of Government Efficiency. What do we make of Elon Musk? And we know that he's been in Florida, by the way, as part or at least meeting with Trump's transition team as they've been cycling through this. Let's move on to a little bit more. I want to ask you about Kristi Noem. We just saw that Kristi Noem, and this is something I know you've been following closely. And it looks like this. This is a new announcement, correct? Yeah, so there was reporting that this was happening before, Rich, but now Trump is officially sending this out. He says that he's pleased to announce that the governor and former Congresswoman from South Dakota Kristi Noem will be appointed to serve as the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. The implications of this. Rich.
Yes, I think that this is not really that much of a surprise. I think most political observers expected she would get some sort of a cabinet position, assuming she's nominated in the end. She's nominated. And then the United States Senate confirms her. She's a former South Dakota. She's a current South Dakota governor. She's been re-elected recently. To somebody who I think many expected would actually run for president herself at some point, or potentially be Donald Trump's short list for a vice presidential running mate. So this really not that much surprised she was somebody who came into Congress defeated an incumbent member who was kind of a moderate to conservative blue dog Democrat. And was really very much a conservative, kind of an ideologue in the more conservative caucus of the United States House of Representatives. Ran for governor of South Dakota and has been spending a lot of time on the hustings, whether it was campaigning for Trump or whether it was speaking to conservative groups. So, I think this is certainly Thanks for watching this video.